Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, we're back with the Tottenham Hotspur Master League. In today's episode, I have 3 matches for you, in comparison to the last 2 episodes, which are both 2 matches each. And in today's episode, after this match against West Ham United, I do actually show you the goal ranking and assist ranking for the Barclays Premier League, so look out for that. You'll be surprised by the numbers you see, because I was surprised by them when I actually looked at them. So, playing against West Ham, one of those teams, not really that difficult. Also, in the Europa League, I got drawn against, what are they called again? Southampton. So, that'll be interesting to see. I think it's in like the next episode, I would assume. In the next episode, I'll probably see that. So, against West Ham, one of those teams I have no issue playing against. Andy Carroll does pose some form of a threat every once in a while. And to be honest, he's also captain of West Ham, which is quite crazy to think about, concerning that he wants to be back to Newcastle in real life, which is just, you know, well, that's what the newspapers say. But hey ho. Anyway, the game kicks off as you'd expect, and in the 4th minute of the match, Eriksen on the ball, plays into Ramirez into Karen Benzema. Benzema gets a strike away, and Benzema hits it just wide of the post when he actually probably should pop it into the back of the net, like the striker that he is. But on the 29th minute of the match, it gets a strike away. This time Benzema pops it into the back of the net to give us a 1-0 lead just on the half-an-hour mark into the game. Basically just to more or less cement what I would expect from one of my better players in the team. And then, as you see here in the last minutes of the first half, play a nice really long ball forward with Luke Shaw, comes to nothing, and 1-0 at half time. Paulinho doing a pretty decent job in midfield. The game was really boring. 2 shots, 1 on target from us, 0 shots from West Ham completely. And in the 54th minute of the match, Benzema on the ball, runs past Johansson, gets a strike away. Adrian makes a pretty decent save from it. From the save, he actually throws it straight out to, I think it was Gaston Ramirez. And it comes to literally nothing. It literally came to nothing. I really probably should have capitalised on that opportunity, but it came to nothing. And in the 76th minute of the match, Benzema this time on the ball plays it was a really nice little back heel through to Paulinho after back heel from Eriksen to Benzema to Paulinho. But yeah, it didn't really come to anything. And in the last minutes of the match, West Ham did get an opportunity there, as you sort of saw it. And in the last minutes of the match, Gaston Ramirez gets played for a goal from Heung-min Son, and he ends up popping it in the back of the net to give us a 2-0 lead, and a pretty decent result, considering that is what you'd expect from us. So, with that being said, playing against West Ham United, West Ham not one of those teams which I have really any trouble with, and as you see there, like I said, the goal ranking, Benzema has 16 goals, he's top of that ranking, and he also has 16 assists, so he has helped out for Tottenham with 32 goals. 32 goals. That is crazy. Crazy. So, yeah. Going up into the next match, and it is against Norwich City. Not Norwich City, it's against Stoke City. And Stoke City, of course, have the likes of Mame Biram Diouf, they have Bojan, they have Arnautovic, they have Victor Moses, they have Stefan Nzonzi. They have some really good players in that midfield who cause me so many problems because they're so heavy-handed. Now, heavy-handed, you know what I mean when I mean heavy-handed? I mean, like, I have no issue with them. I have no issue with them, like, attacking me or anything. It's just the issue that this game, when they when 2 players get in a tussle and then 1 player just automatically wins it and pushes the players off the ball, with Stoke, it's like every single time their player does it, it just always happens and they always win the ball back, and it's really, 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 really frustrating. Like, really frustrating. And you sort of if you've played this game, you sort of already know all about that. So, yeah. Anyway, we kicked off as you'd expect. In this 23rd minute of the match, nothing really happened before that. Arnautovic only gets an opportunity. Comes down to Bojan after I actually headed it to him with Luke Wilson. And Bojan scores, make it 1-0 to Stoke. And I was like, oh no, we have a bloody record to keep, because, you know, we're bloody unbeaten at this point still. So, yeah, basically at half-time, we were being beaten 1-0 by Stoke. And I thought, my god, the record is gone. We're going to end up losing now against a relatively low opposition. I mean, the game was relatively even. Nothing much had really happened in the actual match. But I was like, oh, we're going to lose this match against terrible opposition when we shouldn't be losing against them. And they get another opportunity there, as you saw there with Victor Moses. And in the 61st minute of the match, Eriksen gets a strike, but doesn't come to anything. It was literally just really, really close. And eventually Holberg picks up the ball here in the 62nd minute, plays it into Eriksen. Again, they just intercept it, give it to Bojan, and Bojan ran away with it. And in the 67th minute of the match, her son, who'd come on for Stefan El-Shaarawy, basically just foul upon foul upon foul, and eventually Andros Townsend gets through on goal, gets a strike away, comes back to Benzema, and Benzema pops it in the back of the net to score his 17th goal of the season. and equalised against Stoke, which was pretty decent, but again, one of those things which you should probably be beating teams like Stoke. But in the 78th minute of the match, Benzema again gets another opportunity, gets a strike away, and a really, really good block for it by Ryan Shawcross actually stops us from scoring the goal. But from that, we actually get another opportunity to get a cross in. Again, it comes to nothing, and Holberg cannot... Oh, yeah, she does get to it. Doesn't get a strike away, though. I probably should have either passed it or just striked it with his left foot. Then the 85th minute of the match here, Eriksson on the ball, runs past two players, gets a strike away, and this time it hits off the crossbar, which is just ridiculous. Considering I was just trying to get a strike away and score a goal. And in the last minutes of the match here, Andros Townsend on the ball, gives it into Eriksson. Eriksson runs for a bit. I really probably should have just shot, but for some reason decided to pass it into Son, who'd run away. And then Bagovic clears the ball, and from that, we end up drawing the game of Stoke. Now, to be honest, I would be disappointed that I drew a game against Stoke, but then I was like, well, you know, at half-time I was losing 1-0, and I was close to losing out on my invincible thing. So, yeah. With that being said, into the last match of this episode, it is against Aston Villa. As you see there, John Terry has the crazy red arrow, which means that he will eventually, if I play well enough with him, he will end up going past his... He will ascend to his next form. Basically, he'll just get like a 4 or 5 point overall increase, which is crazy to think about. Hence why I put him actually to put up players to join the attack. I don't usually do it, usually just keep two centre-backs back. But this time I decided to put John Terry forward, because if he scores a goal and gets a man of the match in this particular match, he will end up just ascending to it a lot quicker, which is better for basically for anyone watching. You basically want to see your best players, and John Terry does. I think he probably will eventually, because he's one of the better centre backs in the game in general. So it makes sense for him to go up like a lot, like even without getting a man of the match, which is good. Usually it's easier with strikers. It's really terrible with goalkeepers, because it's like, well, you know, goalies, how many times they actually get man of matches in these games. But yeah, in the 63rd minute of the sixth minute of the match, Holberg should really score that right there. For some reason I hit it wide when I really should just be popping in the back of the net. For some reason I'm just terrible when it comes to like first time finishes in this game. But in the 14th minute of the match, Fabian Delphin ball runs past John Terry of all people, gets a strike away, hits off the post, comes back to Ashley Westwood, and he pops in back of the net to give Aston Villa a 1-0 shock lead against me. And again I was like, my god, my record is in vain. My god, I just don't want to lose my record. So with that being said, El Shaarawy picks up the ball here in the 30th minute of the match. Runs past two players, gets a strike away. Rob Green's in goal for Aston Villa. He makes an absolute hash of it, and he lets it just squirm past him into the bottom corner for us to equalise. Now, I was happy with this at half-time, going into a 1-all draw against Aston Villa. Pretty decent game so far. Game was relatively close. Again, another close game. A lot of close games in this particular year, to be honest. But in the 82nd minute of the match, Andros Townsend on the ball plays it into Benzema. Benzema backheels it to John Terry of all people, who for some reason was like ran forward, and John Terry gets a strike away, and the keeper makes a pretty decent save, but it comes to nothing. And then at the end of this particular match, they all start celebrating, and I was like, why the hell are you celebrating? You've not won the league yet, you pieces of idiots, you absolute morons. And the reason they're celebrating is because we've secured European football for next season. So it's not Champions League, it's Europa League onwards. So no Champions League at the moment, but we have got Europa League, which is okay, but I want Champions League football. So with that being said, we end up actually getting a really good look at the table this time. As you see there, we're like 30 points clear of, well, we're like 30 points clear of Hull, basically, who are in 8th. So with that being said, we're still 9 points clear of Arsenal, which is pretty decent, and we're 12 points clear of Southampton, which is okay. So if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.